Let's craft a detailed, story-driven narrative for Conor McGregor's future potential fights, his impact on the UFC controversies surrounding him, and how it could unfold in an exciting and dramatic scenario. Since we're using a storytelling approach for a crowd of 100 people, the tone will be gripping, with the use of vivid details and engaging transitions. Conor McGregor, the legend who never fades. It's the year 2025. The world has been waiting. The loud, fiery Irishman with a swagger larger than life, Conor McGregor, has become an icon in combat sports. His legacy was cemented long ago with brash victories, unforgettable moments, and controversies that have followed him like a shadow. From a humble beginning in Dublin's working-class neighborhoods to becoming the first fighter in UFC history to hold 2 titles simultaneously, Conor McGregor is a name that will echo in the halls of mixed martial arts forever. But here we are, my friends. McGregor's future in the octagon is still uncertain. Injury after injury, legal battles, and personal traumas have kept him out of the sport, but the call to return is too strong to ignore. Will McGregor ever make that return? And if he does, who will be the man or woman who will face him in the future? As I stand before you today, let's weave the tale of McGregor's rise and the possibility of the next chapter in his epic saga. Conor McGregor, the king who came before. Before we dive into the future, let's go back to McGregor's origins. It was never just about punches or kicks for him. Conor McGregor understood the business of combat as much as the fight itself. He was as much a strategist as he was an athlete. When McGregor stepped into the UFC, it wasn't just a fight that mattered, it was his narrative, his persona. McGregor could talk the talk, and boy, did he walk the walk. The trash talk, the extravagant lifestyle, the flashy suits, the luxurious watches, all part of the McGregor brand. But it wasn't just the spectacle. He had the skill to back it up. Conor McGregor's first defining moment came in 2015 when he shocked the world by knocking out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, claiming the UFC featherweight championship. Aldo, the Brazilian icon, who had been undefeated for over a decade, was dismantled in the blink of an eye. It was an era-defining knockout. And McGregor was only getting started. The double champion era. After conquering the featherweight division, McGregor set his sights on the lightweight title. In November 2016, he made history again. Conor McGregor became the first fighter in UFC history to hold 2 titles simultaneously as he knocked out Eddie Alvarez at Madison Square Garden, taking home both the featherweight and lightweight belts. The world marveled at his achievements. But with the power of 2 championships came the dark side of fame and fortune. McGregor's brash personality, combined with his rising success, began to rub many the wrong way. Controversies, both inside and outside the octagon, began to pile up. McGregor's arrogance, some would say confidence, was beginning to cross the line into chaotic behavior. There was the infamous bus incident in 2018 when McGregor threw a metal dolly, through the bus window containing rival fighters, including Khabib Nurmagomedov. The images were everywhere. The fighter everyone loved to hate had gone too far. And then, his shocking fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov in October 2018. The build-up to that fight was one of the most heated rivalries in UFC history, and when it came to a head, it was a spectacle of violence and animosity. McGregor was defeated, submitted in the 4th round, but it was the post-fight brawl that truly defined the night. Khabib leaped over the cage and into McGregor's corner, sparking a massive brawl. The fight may have ended, but the controversy did not. The road to recovery, but here we are, years later, and McGregor is back. After a string of injuries, broken legs, torn ligaments, and long rehabilitation periods, he's set to return. The world is asking, who is McGregor going to face next? Conor McGregor vs. The future, what could be? I want you to imagine this with me. It's 2025, and the octagon lights dim. The crowd is on the edge of their seats, waiting for that familiar walk, that loud Irish jig that precedes the fight. Conor McGregor emerges from the tunnel, his signature swagger unmistakable. This time, however, the world is watching him in a different light. He's not the brash young fighter who ran through the ranks, but a veteran one who knows what it's like to lose, to be humbled, but also to rise again. His opponent, a new breed of fighter. Let me tell you about Charles Oliveira, the Brazilian lightweight phenom who has been on a tear through the UFC. The man who has taken submission wins to a whole new level. With his vast arsenal of chokeholds and dominant grappling, Oliveira is the king of the lightweight division, with a record-setting 16 submissions in the UFC. Now, he's gunning for a legacy-defining fight with McGregor. We know McGregor's strengths, his left hand, his timing, his precision. But Oliveira is a different animal. He has an iron will and the ability to take McGregor into deep waters where he's uncomfortable. Oliveira's cardio is legendary. What happens when McGregor's striking meets Oliveira's grappling? The world holds its breath as McGregor faces toughest challenge, yet a man who has the power to end the fight in a second, but also the ability to wear his opponent down until they submit. The build-up to this fight is intense, as both fighters exchange insults, each trying to get under the other's skin. McGregor, with his quick wit and biting tongue, taunts Oliveira, calling him a jiu-jitsu kid who has never faced anyone with real power. Oliveira, in return, declares that McGregor is a has-been who is clinging to the past. But beyond the trash talk, this fight has everything: skill, pride, and the kind of energy only the UFC's biggest stars can bring. The return of McGregor, the controversies, the aftermath. Now, imagine McGregor steps into the octagon and faces not just Oliveira, but his own inner demons. His journey has not been smooth. Injuries, the legal troubles, the controversies. Every fight McGregor takes on isn't just physical, it's emotional. If McGregor loses to Oliveira, where does he go from here? Will he retire, or will the allure of redemption call him back? But if McGregor wins, the UFC world will be turned upside down. The prodigal son has returned, and now he's targeting the lightweight crown again, perhaps even considering a trilogy fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov, or calling out the rising superstar Islam Makhachev. The aftermath of such a victory would send shockwaves throughout the sport, sparking debates on whether McGregor is truly back, or whether it was just a last hurrah. Will he reclaim his place at the top of the sport, or will he slip into the shadows of history? Only time will tell. The legacy of Conor McGregor. Let's step back and think for a moment. No matter what happens, McGregor's legacy will endure. He's not just a fighter, he's an icon. From his humble beginnings to the very top of the sport, McGregor has captured the imagination of millions. Whether he wins or loses his future bouts, the world will be talking about him for generations to come. And that, my friends, is the true power of Conor McGregor. The man who refused to fade into the past, always looking toward the future, always stirring controversy and excitement wherever he goes. Whether he faces Charles Oliveira or Islam Makhachev, whether he wins or loses, McGregor's next fight is not just another fight, it's an event. The crowd is on the edge of their seats. As we close this chapter, one thing is clear: the McGregor saga is far from over.